And there we go. Hopefully things don't mess up horribly. And there you go. It says that I am live, so we're going to pause that because we don't need that. Yeah, this is great. Now I have to... Gonna have to... Yeah, this is gonna take ages to properly set up. All of this is just to find, do text. Am I not on my... No. So then can I... Oh my god. Well, that's great. I can't go live. I can't find it on my phone. So now I have to get creative. Yeah. Fortunately, it's unlisted. If it ain't, then I'll be surprised. Almost there. Just give me a minute. Come on. Every time I want to do something. Please just let me go. Alright. There we go, that works. Alright, I think that's finally set. Alright, so I have the chat on my phone. Hopefully it doesn't die. I've got a charger anyway in the background for that. So now all I gotta do is copy the link and paste it everywhere. As my laptop whines like a dog. Well, it should be public. I don't know. I guess I'll wait a bit before I actually start the entire... Oh, never mind, we got chat. Well, I'll wait anyway. Hey. Yeah, I know you. Welcome. Oh, I instinctively turned my phone off. That's great. Well... Wow, I really don't know why. Great, now I have hiccups. So I hope all of your evenings are going fine. Apparently, it still says 0 people according to my phone, but it's probably because it hasn't updated yet. So, again, I'll wait for a little bit before I actually start with the breakdown. Assuming that I even did this properly, if it's even live. Is my phone gonna say that I'm live or not? Oh, yep, alright, it does. It says that we got some people. Hey, Danny. Yeah, I got a haircut yesterday, and so yeah, that's all cool. Also, I've got my shameless self-promotion t-shirt on. You've got t-shirt links in the description to that go to Teespring. I tried to price them reasonably. They want me to charge like $10 more. So that's ouch. Yeah, buy more shirt. No, Danny, you've already done enough. Alright, I think I can just put my phone right there. And it'll stay like that, so now I can look at the chat while doing this stuff. You know, maybe if I just put it on the right. Or, no, the left. I think we're good. Yeah, I'm it's display capture, so yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so I guess I should start. So if you couldn't tell by, you know, the amount of Subspace videos that I've been making, it's like, oh, I finished making the TAS, I premiered it, and now I'm uploading them as individual levels because a bunch of people were like, oh, hey, I think people will get intimidated by an hour-long video and they'd rather see it in bite-sized chunks. So now I'm uploading them in bite-sized chunks. Exactly what you want. Some other people also said, hey, can we get an analysis video or anything? So now I'm making an analysis video, or an analysis stream, I guess. So there, people want this stuff, right? Right? Anyway. So from Razorify, what does TAS stand for? Well, if you go and look in the description, it says right at the start, this is a tool-assisted speedrun. Visit tasvideos.org for more information. And then if you actually read the rest of the description, you can see that I made a whole submission on TAS videos with all of my notes and everything, including a bunch of miscellaneous... Ooh, is this even shown properly? Yeah, it is actually. With a bunch of general, like, things to talk about, including level-by-level things. But I know that people don't like to read all that much, just generally, I guess. So now I guess I'm just doing a whole breakdown. So we start off at the start. Wow. And so... obviously the start... Okay, so I would say that the start doesn't contain anything important, but the truth is, it sort of does. So, with the start of a task file, it's like you have a bunch of starting settings, and that's pretty much how you set up the initial game state that you make an input file for that carries you to the end credits, right? Well, one of the initial parameters that does actually matter is the start time that the game is booted up at. And so the thing about Brawl is that whenever you start up the game for the first time, whether you create a new save file or whether you don't, you get one singular sticker in your save album, or in your sticker album. And the thing about stickers is that they are immensely useful in Subspace. There's 700 of them in the game, and they can power up a bunch of different attributes of your characters, from arm attacks, leg attacks. They can increase your defense. They allow you to carry an item in every room. That'll be useful for later. But the thing about stickers, the sticker that you get at the start, is that it changes based on the time that you start the game at. So after a bunch of brute forcing, I was able to find a sticker that was useful for the run and not particularly easy to manipulate during the run itself. So I had to start at a custom start time in order to get the ball rolling properly. So to put it in another way, I'm starting at gear 2. Oh, I didn't mean to go into full screen. So, okay, so another thing about this, I initially created a save file because I thought that I would need to back in and out of Subspace, which you need to create a save file for. With hindsight, apparently you don't need that, so already this is several seconds behind what it could be, but I found a lot of improvements in this run, so this being one of them isn't really major. It's only like a couple seconds. So obviously you create the save file. That's technically unnecessary, but whatever, we don't care about that. Pretend it's RNG manipulation. So we go through, and so the first fight is actually fairly simple. Like, we choose Kirby, and we do this whole thing called the Kirby side technique. Now, oh, this is gonna buffer like crazy. So, the general strat is the Kirby side thing. The TAS strat optimizations is to get Mario to run over as quickly as possible, and then fast fall while you're doing the initial inhale to be able to fall more quickly to the bottom. Now, getting Mario to go over as fast as possible, I actually had to do quite an odd set of inputs to manipulate RNG. But you got it. And then all that was left was actually doing the fast fall. Oh, and also, another thing. Okay, so apparently 60 FPS is a bit off, so I'll just do 480p 30. So you'll notice that I paused the game not just once here. Okay, I know for a fact that I did it twice. I guess it just didn't show up. So now I guess I have to go back to see. I'm sorry, guys. This is literally like on the fly stuff that I'm doing. So I basically I pause and unpause the game twice in this state. See, there was twice, and that's to manipulate RNG for the next section. Because as you can see, I choose Peach. Peach has her down special move that allows her to get very powerful items with correct RNG manipulation. And oh yeah, all of this stuff was before I developed the brute forcing script explicitly to sort out in-game items. Daniel, that is a different kind of pause, and I will explain that when we get to the first instance of it. And so with all of that RNG manipulation done, I am able to use Peach's down B and I get up a bomb. That's a 1 in 240 chance, by the way. I recalculated the odds and everything. So, already, we're dealing with, a 1 in 240, thing that I just manipulated to occur. So that's that. And then the rest of the fight pretty much follows. Now, the general strategy here, you'll notice that just getting an enemy down to 0 HP isn't enough because their corpses start flying around. And so they can either fly into another enemy, some special items like green shells, hot heads, bombs, or they can fly all the way to the blast zone. And when they hit either, like, all three of those, then they finally despawn and another enemy can spawn in its place. So the general strategy in these fights is to reduce their HP to 0 as fast as possible, and then knock their corpse into something as quickly as possible to despawn them completely. In the fights that don't have any other particular skips that I will explain in the future, but that's generally how it goes. I also manipulated several good items, including super mushrooms, more bombs, and general stuff like that. A green shell, that's one of the items that enemies despawn on contact. So that's useful. Hotheads are useful. Uneras are useful because they have the same property as green shells when it comes to despawning enemies on contact. So I get that. See, there's a lot of things that you have to really, like, go and do stuff like, and just analyze frame by frame just to see what's happening. Yeah, I'm still in college. It's currently winter break, and I'm happy about that. And one final thing about this particular fight. Yeah, I know I'm skimming over a lot of stuff, but it's like actually analyzing everything in detail would literally take me ages, and I'd like to get this done in about an hour because, whatchamacallit, a friend of mine is doing a first-time viewing of this thing, and he's gonna have it end at Taboo on New Year's. But one final thing. The whole enemy corpses flying around, throwing a trophy also ends it, also despawns them instantly. So I throw the trophy stand at the last enemy to end the fight instantly. And this is just the general gist of all of the fights that go on throughout the entire game. Send enemies into other enemies or particular items or to the blast zone if they're close enough. RNG manipulate powerful items to assist in that, and then end the fight with a trophy stand or just ending it as soon as possible. I'm sorry. And then we have the first boss fight of the game, which is literally just Ariel hammering over and over again. Now, we save Zelda here because she can transform into Sheik, who has faster running speed and everything than Peach on a surface level basis. But in hindsight, Peach might be faster, depending on if she's faster in Sea of Clouds and if the Lake Shore fights are any different. But everything said, like, yeah, that's the first fight of the game. 3 important things all in a row. And so now we're in Skyworld with Pit. Pit's up B has a faster falling speed than his fast fall at the brief start, so I used that at the beginning. Okay, so a thing about bunny hoods. Bunny hoods do not exist in the enemy item pool. They just don't. They don't exist in the enemy item pool. There's a TAS by Pika Pete 12 that was a work in progress for Subspace after he got done with his thing in 2015 that spawns bunny hoods from enemies literally all the time. It's hacked. bunny hoods do not spawn in the enemy RNG. What does spawn, though, quite often on Intense, is trophy stands. And the things that do not spawn once in his work in progress is trophy stands. So I have a reasonable anecdotal evidence to believe that he hacked the item system to replace trophy stands with bunny hoods. But that's beside the point, because bunny hoods can spawn in stuff like this cube, horde fights, like as one of the occasional items that pop up, and boss fights, similarly with things popping up. So we get the bunny hood, which allows Pit to run really fast. And so that's that. Short room. So now we get into another ambush. Same situation here. RNG manipulating a bunch of bombs. Now here, though. So, the general thing about Smash Bros. Is that obviously you take damage and you get knocked farther and farther the more and more damage you get. Obviously, this stuff wasn't changed in Smash Bros. So the thing that the developers tried to do to prevent people from flying all over the place in these things is tie blast zones to the camera in free roaming sections. And so basically, whenever you take damage in a free roaming section, the camera freezes. The camera freezes, the blast zones freeze. And so the general idea is that if you try to build up a bunch of damage and then try to fly off, the camera freezes, the blast zones freeze, you pass it, you die. But there are a couple of holes that I found, that we, the entire Smash speedrunning community, found, that kind of breaks the rules a little bit. And one of the rules involves the ends of ambushes and horde fights. So basically, if you take damage, if you take launching damage while you're in the middle of an ambush and it switches to a free roaming section, the camera doesn't freeze because you technically didn't take damage during the free roaming section. It only checks if you take damage during the free roaming section. And so with that, I take damage during the ambush ends, and I get to keep my speed because the game thinks, oh, you didn't take damage in this free roaming section, so the camera doesn't freeze. And so with that, I get to fly a little bit. And then I RNG manipulate a green shell. Fun fact, Pit's roll is faster than his run on the ground. And so remember that thing that I said about despawning an enemy? Well, that's why I RNG manipulated a green shell. It was to get this thing despawned so I can just immediately go into the door. And so we continue going down here. Yeah, no, I think this is going to take a lot longer than an hour because I'm explaining pretty much everything. So, fun fact. Obviously, you can only use up B once, even if you cancel it. And at surface viewing, I'm using it way more than once. I used it 3 times in a row. So, but here's the thing. I technically, for some reason, by using up B just barely above the platform, it counted me as landing on it. Or, no, I think it was... No, wait a minute. It's because I got done using the aerial attack. I basically enter the regular falling animation, like the instant, I guess, I start fast falling through the platform. And so because of that, I guess it just refreshes my up B. In a structured video format. Look, this thing already took me 3 months. I don't want to spend another 3 months on this thing just to make a general structured commentated video. I'm sorry. I'd like this to suffice. Please. After this, just let me rest. So with that said, I up B to increase my falling speed down to this thing. And then I abuse Brawl's gliding mechanism. Gliding is just broken. And so I can just fly, quite literally, everywhere. Almost. Right over the fight trigger, in fact. Nothing really much to say about that. Hey, Dad. How you doing? Okay, so here I transform into Sheik, because Sheik is faster. And then I start rolling, because Sheik's roll is faster than her run. And then I use her chain to grab the ledge from really far away. But yeah, other than that, yeah. And then we pick Zelda again. And then transform into Sheik again. And then we start rolling again. And then we start building up a lot of damage, because, so remember what I said about taking damage freezing the camera? Well, as it turns out, there are a couple of things that don't abide by this rule, and electric attacks are one of them. So you'll notice that I just fly all over the place with complete disregards to the camera and everything. I'll use these fish as examples. So, for some reason, if you get hit by an electric attack and then SDI into a ceiling or a wall before hit stun period ends, the camera doesn't freeze. And so this was known from the beginning. But at first it was believed that only electric attacks had this odd property of not freezing the camera. But as it turns out, all attacks do. It's just that electric attacks are much more lenient. Thank you, Allie.
You're welcome.
Cheers. You know what, never mind. So, basically, this whole electric attack bounce boosting thing was one of the major glitches, I guess, found before the TAS started. And so, I used that here. I do some shield SDI with the Poppin's rock attack, and then I enter the door. And so then I run a bit, dodge a bit, RNG manipulate a super mushroom. I love this part where I can just chain from across the screen and then just zip. So as you can see, I get a lot of mileage out of the super mushroom here. I also do another chain here. I love the chain. And so this is general fight stuff, except for the fact that I do another ambush and damage boost and just fly across the map again and just skip the fight. The last fight. So now we're out the jungle with Donkey Kong. So this block has a 50% chance of containing a super mushroom. The other 50% is a super mushroom. Now the thing is, the generalized bounce boosting technique that I found could probably improve stuff here, but I didn't know about this about that at this point, so I just resort to RNG manipulating super mushrooms to move faster. A fun fact about this: I charge Donkey Kong's neutral B and then cancel it to land with 0 frames of landing lag, so I can immediately roll. In comparison to landing normally and wasting a couple of frames, that is such a minor optimization. But it's very much worth it. And so just in general, we get the super mushroom, we run a bit, I RNG manipulate another super mushroom, then we can start dodge rolling, charge the punch, and then we roll again into what's basically an auto-scroller. Now the thing about here is that the super mushroom's timer at this point is run out, which means if I fired any sooner, I would have landed on the ground, and landing on the ground and reverting back to normal size takes way longer than reverting back to normal size in the air. So I have to wait a bit to fire the cannon to revert back to normal in the air. Then I RNG manipulate another super mushroom. Okay, so fun fact of, you know what, I'll just play this first. So I get a Koopa shell and then grab it. Now you might think that everything with this, you know, was perfectly fine. Actually, it required quite a bit of thinking. Because under normal circumstances, without that damage boost, I would have run out of time on the super mushroom. But the funny thing about SDI and being in the taking damage animation is that it basically freezes all of the timers related to stuff like super mushrooms or poison mushrooms or stuff like that. So with that, I'm technically moving through frozen time. During this brief instance of hit lag or hit stun or whatever. So technically, I'm doing a JoJo reference. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I basically, I move fast enough to be able to grab it and then use the shell to just skip the fight. Also, this roll here was intentional to spawn this Koopa earlier, so I could damage boost with it earlier. And so this is the first auto-scroller. I pretty much do exactly nothing except just fool around. I get to the door as early as possible, but other than that, it's just nothing. It's just fancy dodging, taunting, all of that stuff. So I'm in my room right now. My dad is in the kitchen. He's probably watching this live. Okay, and so now we're in the final room. Hold on. Up, down, down, left, right. Sound familiar? Konami code. Anyway, so I manipulate another super mushroom here to be able to take care of all of these faster. I do the typical strat of throwing a trophy stand at the last enemy to despawn it, and then make the door immediately spawn so I can enter it and then end the level. And so now we're at the plane. Featuring Pit again, and his dodge rolling. And gliding. And damage boosting. There's a lot of damage boosting. And bounce boosting. We get a bit of Pit side B to break those blocks. And then more just general damage boosting. This is probably another area where bounce boosting would help. But again, I didn't know the general technique at this point. And now we reach another auto-scroller. So remember when I said that remember when I alluded to a better strat of ending fights earlier? Well, this is one of them. Or this is the thing that I was talking about. So basically, if you pause the instant you get into an ambush, the camera still continues to follow you, and it still keeps its blast zones at the edges of the cameras. And so if an enemy is beyond those blast zones, it despawns. And so with this, I can use Pit's very large recovery to go high enough to just despawn all of the enemies below and then end the fight. That's called the pause glitch. And it's very useful, as you can see. So I can end the fight and then immediately just move on to the next one. And then I do another pause glitch. And then end the fight immediately. You can see how this is useful. It's a very useful trick. Technically a glitch. And so here I do another pause glitch, but I'm not able to take care of all of the enemies, but I'm able to take care of most of them. Also, a fun fact about this, there's usually a level transition there's usually a fade to black here. I finish the fight and reach the end trigger so quickly that I prevent the fade out from spawning properly. And so now I reach the lake. We choose Fox because he's better than Diddy in pretty much everything. And now we fight this giant snake thing. And we also pause a couple of times, pause and unpause, to manipulate his attack pattern. That electric ball does practically no damage even when reflected, so I choose to cancel more powerful attacks instead of wasting time reflecting it to deal no damage. Fox's fastest form of damage is short hop, fast fall, back airs, and the occasional up air. And down smash, and then whatever, when I can actually cancel. Fun fact with here, I actually attack a frame later than I could, because if I attacked a frame earlier, I would have picked up an unneeded sticker. So I do that, so I don't have to pick up an unneeded sticker. Because with the amount of times I go through the stickers, I suspect that I would have wasted more time if I picked it up, scrolling through things. And so, yeah, now we're into this thing. Fox's fastest form of movement is continuous side specials. And so we do that alongside a damage boost to get to that door. We barely dodge those things. This is just like general Fox movement with double jumps and everything. Yeah, see, with this room, I couldn't effectively use Fox's side B because those tauntauns were in the way. And so I resort to running, turning around, and then jumping, because the thing about enemy pushback is that if you're facing the same, like, they push you back the opposite direction of where you're facing. Like, if you're facing to the right, like here, like, if Fox is facing in this direction, he gets pushed in the opposite direction. So if he's facing right, he gets pushed left. If he's facing left, he gets pushed right. So I use that to boost a little, because when I'm in this jumping animation, I'm technically facing left. So I get pushed further right, which is where I want to go. And so with this incline, it's somewhat harder to effectively use Fox's side B, because if you use it low enough to the ground, you're just going to land on the ground and get the extra landing lag and not move as far. And so with this particular instance, I actually had to move back just a bit. And here I use a pause glitch to despawn the giant Goomba. So now all I have to deal with is the small Goombas. And then I use the super mushroom to get back to the door earlier. I use a yeah, it's funny, 10 seconds is an entire room. Entire 2 rooms practically. So with here, I barely get just high enough to have my blaster attack hit the switch. And then with this, 2 back airs and a slightly charged forward smash. And so now we're in here, featuring Goombas and more turtles. Hi, Dad. And so here I'm just fooling around again. So here I'm just fooling around again, because at this point I didn't know what the sticker route would be like, so I couldn't think of a way to, like, I didn't want to manipulate more stickers than what I could. Can TAS control item spawns? Effectively, yes, through heavy amounts of RNG manipulation, which is exactly what I do for the entirety of the run. And so here, it's just another room, including a damage boost over to the cannon. I feel as if I could get that a bit earlier, but hey, that's for the next time I do this. And now we have the big turtle himself, in which... Oh, the fight's over. Here, let me go back. yeah, my dad's laughing in the other room. So, fun fact. Remember Kirby and his Kirby side? Well, Bowser has a similar thing. It's called Bowser side, in which he uses his side B. So I purposefully have him use it against me. And so we just kill ourselves together. But I have a stock advantage, so I win. Take that. So now we're finally done with this level, and it's auto-scroller. And what do we get as an reward? Another auto-scroller! So again, because I didn't know the proper sticker route at this time, because I just didn't know enough about the game, I just fool around with stuff here. Including taking damage, and then getting behind the Porky statue, which you're not normally able to do. You're not supposed to do that. You're not intended to get behind the statue. But you can! So I'm just gonna skip. Skip again. So yeah, a fun fact. Ness's most damaging option is continuously spam to down tilts. It deals like 0.5% per frame. And so I do that as much as I can until I can't, and then I just resort to using aerial attacks and canceled smash attacks. And so that's done. And so now this is one of the levels where I feel like damage boosting or bounce boosting is most applicable, but again, I didn't realize, or I didn't know the general form of it at this point. I only thought that only electrical attacks could do it, and there's no general electric attacks from these enemies at this point in time, so I resorted to using Lucas's general fastest form of movement, which is his zap jump technique, zap jump magnet pull, and some damage boosting. So what this does... So how this works, let me just go back. So, the thing about Lucas is that if you double jump and then use PK Fire, you go a lot higher than you would just by double jumping alone. So I believe this is called the zap jump technique. And then by using Lucas's down B immediately after using side B, he gets a boost of speed in the opposite direction that he's facing. And so basically, this combination of movement tech is Lucas's fastest form of movement, slightly faster than running. Also, shoutouts to the glancing blow that occurs Okay, so I guess I should explain what a glancing blow is. So when a player's hurt box and an enemy attack's hitbox just barely, like, past each other, it produces what's called a glancing blow, and it's designated by an orange spark that appears. So I basically do this, damage boost, and just do more of the zap, jump, magnet, pull stuff. And so we do that until we hit the fight, in which we pause glitch here, because it can despawn quite a number of enemies. It's not all of them, but it's a sizable number of them. I also use a green shell to despawn the last one more quickly, and then I reach the door. And so now we're into this level, which contains a ambush with nothing but biting enemies. Now, fun fact about these things, they pretty much do nothing but make more clones of themselves. The funny thing about this is that their clones do not add to the enemy total, so you only need to defeat their originals. So with that, I can pretty much do all of this without wasting any time, even though I let one spawn because it doesn't matter. I then do one final... Oh. Almost forgot. Almost forgot we actually have another instance of a bounce boost here with the Glire? No. Glunder. It's the Glunder's electric attack. And so now we're in the final room of this level. We do more zap, jump, magnet pulls. Except we use the Flow's attack to damage boost over this fight. That's pretty much it. We get one singular freeze frame of the Pokemon trainer's close-up face. And so now we're in one of the longer levels of the game. Fun fact, Marth's roll is slightly faster than his run. You'll notice that this is a trend. And another fun fact, the Sword Primate's stab attacks have an insane amount of shield SDI, which is basically like regular SDI, but it's when you shield an attack instead of getting hit by one. And so basically, with that said, I can basically just teleport across the screen with this using frame-perfect inputs. I take damage by that thing to get knocked back over there earlier. I have to pause here to manipulate RNG to make him attack with the stab. And then we reach the end of the level. And so, fun fact about optimizing this portion. I tried many things, and the fastest thing that I found was running for a bit, holding shield, and then you can act out of it in a short period of time and then pretty much do everything, including down tilt, which is one of his only moves that can actually hit the thing. And then damage boost a bit here, and then damage boost one more time to enter here. And now we come face to face with the most broken character in this game. Now this is when I finally found or repurposed, I guess, the RNG brute forcing script to actually deal with entire sets of items, because I initially created it to exclusively attempt to find a singular sticker ID and nothing else, and so initially it wasn't able to be used for general item searching, but I finally developed a way to use it for here, and this is the first fruits of it, where I do a very odd series of dashes. Like you'll notice, I run to the right, and then to the left, right, left, and then I do it again. All of that to get a green shell as the first item. And then the entire fight goes forth from there. So I don't really have any general commentary for this. And so now, we are at here. So, fun fact about this room, on easier difficulties, this is on Intense, the hardest difficulty of the game. On easier difficulties, you're able to skip literally everything of this room. Like, pretty much most of the fights, all of the auto-scrollers, well, the auto-scroller in this room, that can be skipped. Is this RNG manipulation possible in RT runs? Absolutely not. Not a chance. It's completely random, and it'll make no difference if you try pausing in the middle of the run to get something or not in a real-time run. It's exclusively TAS. And so I'm able to skip the first two, okay, so easier difficulties, you can skip the auto-scroller. But because higher difficulties makes the auto-scroller go faster, it actually moves so fast and ends so quickly that I can't skip it without dying. Yes, the up air spin does actually do anything, because under normal circumstances, with Meta Knight's continued double jumps, there's actually a delay in the time that you can double jump and then double jump again. The up air circumvents this delay, and so I can rise much faster while doing continuous up airs. And so with that, I glide, and then I fly over to the auto-scroller. And then I do general auto-scroller shenanigans. And also manipulate some RNG to grab a bomb. You'll notice that this is a trend. With 3 bombs in a row. I also damage boost here. Like, I use the last one to exclusively damage boost as high as I can. I believe if I did his up special 1 frame later, I would have hit the upper blast zone and died. His infinite dimensional cape doesn't show up until like a room later, I think. Or 2 rooms later. And so I skipped the last fight like that. And so here we have pretty much another auto-scroller. Yeah, and so fun fact, Meta Knight's roll, forward roll I should add, is faster than his run. His backwards roll is also faster, but his forward roll is the fastest. During, like, medium distances, his forward roll is his fastest form of grounded movement. For long enough distances, his fastest form of grounded movement is his infinite dimensional cape. And so here's another general fight. I get a home run bat, which is pretty cool. And then do an ambush and damage boost to just skip the first minecart. There's pretty much nothing I can do here, aside from just wait. And so here's where I actually use the infinite dimensional cape to move to the end as quickly as possible. So now I choose Meta Knight again, do it again, damage boost a bit, and then just fly over the last fight. And so yeah, that's the end of the battlefield fortress. Now we're onto the forest. featuring Yoshi, because Link is slow. Specifically Yoshi and his egg roll. And so we use another pause glitch here to despawn enemies so we can just move on with our lives. I try to land on the ground as much as possible in these tree movement area things, I guess, to run, because running is faster than aerial movement. I do another pause glitch here, more RNG manipulation. I have to wait at the end here for a bit for the last enemy to despawn. So, fun fact, I guess, the reason why I can't just move to the door is because I'm literally right next to the area's blast zone. Yes, the back air was necessary to be able to fast fall earlier. And so here I do more egg rolls, and another damage boost. And another egg roll. You'll notice a pattern here. I keep on saying that a lot. Yeah, I like this part because I literally get the help of a primate from beyond the fight to be able to stall in the air long enough. And so here we get the return of the electric bounce boost, and so now I'm able to fool around with that. At this point, I have so much damage that any attack from the shell pod would kill me or freeze the camera for too long, so I can't use its damage boost to get up to the top earlier. And as for the usage of the down air to hit this thing, the reason why I use a down air is because, like attacks hitting enemies, attacks hitting these buttons or blocks or everything, they also incur hit lag, which freezes the player character in place. And so here, I use a move that has the least amount of hit lag, which would be Yoshi's down air. This part took way too long. You'll notice here that I throw an egg. It barely dodges the fish, and it hits the button to break a block that allows me to properly bounce boost right over the fight. If I didn't hit that switch to break that block, I would have been blocked and I wouldn't be able to go anywhere. So the purpose of that egg throw was to be able to do that, and I barely got it done properly. That took way too many tries in the making of this thing. So now we're at the research facility, featuring Zero Suit Samus. You might be thinking, with what I said earlier about hit lag freezing the player character, that using Zero Suit Samus's dash attack to hit the blocks would not be fast, but it's the fastest option. It's faster than jumping over the blocks and everything, so I do that. Another fun fact, Zero Suit Samus's run is faster than her roll, for once. Another fun fact, her dash attack almost ties her run in terms of speed. Just continuously dash attacking. I don't get it either. Unfortunately, we have to wait for the elevator, so I just caused that Rob to die. Rest in peace, Rob. And so now we get Pikachu. 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 Quick attacks. They are dependent on the control stick position, which means that unlike the pretty much everyone else's general strategy of hold right to win or periodically dodge to win, Pikachu's fastest option is precisely maneuvering around with quick attack, which can take values almost across the entire control stick. There are a couple of dead zone areas, but aside from that, it's a nightmare to optimally optimize. Pikachu. And so here I do quick attack cancels, edge cancels, all of that stuff. I skip a fight here. Okay, I love this part. Now you'll notice. What the heck did I get hit by there? It's like, look at that. Look at that. The answer is that with Pikachu's quick attack, his hurt box extends immensely vertically. And so with that, I get attacked by the bucket's attack. You can see that. I get hit by his attack that's practically right off screen in such a way as to grab the key faster. And so here I'm able to hit the switch from below. You're not intended to do this. And so with that, I'm able to just damage boost to the end. Or just damage boost a short distance and then quick attack all the way to the end. Also, because I skipped the fight, I had to skip it again. But it's pretty simple. And so now we're in another auto-scroller, but fortunately I can actually spend it pretty usefully by damaging myself to make the return trip a bit easier, because you'll notice that the Jicks deal electric damage, and so we can use electric bounce boosting, which again is the only form of bounce boosting that I knew at the time. I've mentioned that the hitbox stretching was used to save time, to grab the key earlier than intended. And so with here, I damaged myself a lot. I discovered here that bouncing without teching allows me to damage myself earlier. And you'll also notice here, I'm gonna have to rewind quite a bit. You'll notice here that it looks like I double jumped twice. I don't remember exactly why that happened, but I think it's because the game thought that I landed and then fell like in one frame or something. I forget exactly what it is, but it looks like I'm able to double jump twice. And so here I thunder the glunders as early as possible, and then I just bounce boost my way back. That was barely possible, by the way. And so now we can go to the last rooms of the level. With a precise damage boost. And then we get this. Did you blink? Here, I'll play it again. I have to SDI very precisely here. I use a quick attack to get a bit more, or to actually precisely go here. I do another bounce boost. This is all very precise because I'm like a single instant from triggering the last fight. I skip a fight here, by the way. And so now we're at the lake shore. I choose Mario here because he has a more reliable Meteor Smash and he loads in more quickly than Pit. Yes, I have to take loading times into consideration. And with this, I get hit by the weak portion of her forward air to be able to forward aerial again. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the task, the live chat, sorry. One had patented slow mode, you're right. So with that, I'm able to dunk Zelda not once, but twice. Got him. And so now I choose Mario again. Because now we're gonna dunk Link and Yoshi. And then Pit taunts even though he literally did nothing. and so we choose Yoshi here because his egg roll is faster than all of the other characters. And so now we're into another auto-scroller. And then a fight, and then another auto-scroller. But I can pause glitch this fight to end it, like, immediately. And so that makes me switch to Mario, and so then I die again to switch to Pit, because he's the fastest character left that can take care of the rest of the distance between the end of the auto-scroller and the ending door. Yeah, it's general. If I had to assume it's probably a mix of models and textures and everything, and Pit, Mario has, what, his flood, yeah, that's something, he has his cape, that's not really much, he has his fire flower, I guess, but it's those three things, not really that much. Pit, I guess he has his entire crossbow, he has his shield, I don't know. I don't know, the exact reasons why some characters load in longer than others. So, now we're in another autoscroller. You'll notice that there's a lot of autoscrollers in this game. And you'll notice here that I start to manipulate stickers. I finally decided that it was about time to try manipulating stickers. Even though I still didn't know the exact sticker route, because I didn't find any Caribou Bomb stickers at this point yet. But I said, screw it, you know what, I might as well get something. So I manipulate some stickers here. Tripping when? That's quite a bit later, but there is tripping in this TAS. Spoilers, it's not for fun. It's not optimal or anything, it's just for fun. And so here we choose Yoshi again. And so here we fight these Shade-S enemies. And then it's like, oh, what? So the reason why this works is because, I use his neutral air to get the first one. Slightly damage the second one, while also damage boosting over to the bottom. And because he has so little health left, the second one, the corpse of the first one getting knocked into it is enough to despawn both of them. And so here we use not actually a bounce boost. This also is not a bounce boost, it's just general damage boosting. I'm barely able to SDI over and skip waiting. It was barely possible. Fastest thing is dash attacking. Dash attacking the blocks. So here we use another pause glitch. And so it's just general stuff. Here is when I realized the true the general bounce boosting technique, in which I found its possibility, its limitations, everything in this one moment. Unlike electric bounce boosts, general bounce boosts are much stricter in timing, in which you need to move into a wall or a ceiling on the first frame. You'll notice, on one frame, I'm just in general and, doing stuff in general, and then the frame immediately after, I'm in a wall bounce animation, or in this case, it's a ceiling bounce animation. But, whatchamacallit, This means that you can't, like, physically... Like, you can't be frozen or not moving, which means physically attacking the bomb, physically, the trick doesn't work. You need to either attack it with a projectile or or in the case of a bomb, throw it into a wall or a floor or a ceiling. And so with that, I'm able to slide across the floor and then enter the door immediately. And this is when the task goes from good to great. Now that I actually know the technique with everything. And so I choose Lucas here. I manipulate up a bomb. I build up some damage. I then skip fights with the general bomb bounce boost. Also, side note, the reason why I call it a bounce boost is because you're always either in the wall bounce or the ceiling bounce animation for this glitch to occur. So I decided to shorten it by just calling it bounce boosting, because you're bouncing. And so here I just do more zap jumps, because I don't have any bombs or walls or ceilings to be able to do stuff with, until I manipulate another bomb here and then just fly over to the end. And so now we're in this area. Yeah, fun fact, these fireballs, they don't cause the camera to freeze. And so now everything just works its way from here. I found out the ultimate damage boosting ability, and so now I put it to work here. Just look at this. Oh, okay, now I'll go back and actually explain everything. So you'll notice here that I immediately RNG manipulate a super mushroom. I use a green shell here to despawn the enemies more quickly. And then these things are notorious because the instant they start growing into a larger size, they're invincible. They're invincible during that entire animation. So I make sure to prevent them from doing that. Also here, after destroying all of them, I do another ambush and damage boost to fly over to the next fight. And then I do a pause glitch here, because it actually prevents a couple of enemies from spawning. Also, I RNG manipulated up a bomb here. And then I just launched myself over to here. So a fun fact about this, it's possible to fly over the fight trigger for this, but there's a barricade at the end of the level that prevents you from getting all the way to the end of the level. Now, with enough speed, it's possible to clip through that barrier, but I could not find a way to generate that speed in practice. I tried everything. I tried manipulating a green shell to just green shell hop over the fight's trigger, and then damage myself with a green shell to try to fly out to clip through the barrier. It didn't work. I tried clipping through the ceiling with a bomb and everything with that to fly over everything to skip it. It didn't work. I tried literally everything. Allie, I haven't even finished my first water bottle.
I was informed that you needed them.
Oh my gosh.
Love you.
Love you too. What am I gonna do without her? Double bomb. There's not enough enemies, and I can only carry one bomb at a time. So with this fight, more RNG manipulation, more bombs. I love this part. So the entire purpose of that, let's go all the way back. I was able to RNG manipulate a blast box. I was able to use PK Fire to remote detonate it. Barely kill, like almost kill the Armite. Notice how it has a sliver of HP remaining. And so with this, I am able to kill this Armite, launch its corpse into the Armite that almost got killed by the blast box, and then I can fully despawn that, while also RNG manipulating another bomb. I had such a big brain during this moment. Also, elevator skip. It was here that I realized that even without the camera being frozen, you can still die by moving too fast. I only have an hour left, and I'm not even close to being done. That's okay. So here I do zap jump things. Okay, so here's the fight with Wario. And there it is. Goodbye, Wario. And then we get a close-up of Wario's trophified face. Okay, so now we're in the cave with Yoshi. Again, egg roll, yada yada yada. So this is typical stuff, except for the fact that, you know, RNG manipulating bombs and everything. Including a very, very helpful home run bat. We have another bomb damage boost. Not bounce boost, it's just a general damage boost with the cam being frozen. Another RNG manipulated bomb, and that was an actual bounce boost there. Because this was such a short room, I was able to optimize it really well, which included dash attacking to grab the key, getting hit by the fire, SDIing a bunch, barely landing on it, fast falling to the ground, and then doing a ledge jump. I haven't actually explained ledge jumps before. So if you run to the edge of a ledge, you have a couple of frames where you can do a full jump, which actually saves a couple of frames, because under normal circumstances, you have to wait for the jump squat animation. And so with the ledge jump, you can skip that. And so that saves a couple frames, if you need horizontal distance alongside jumping. So here I egg roll over here, damage boost with the turtle. Do more egg rolls. This is actually, this is technically an auto-scroller because I have to wait for all the gliders to spawn. So with this, oh, this is fun. This is fun. I'll play it for a bit and then I'll rewind and explain it. Crazy, huh? You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Well, it all started with, hold on. Let's go all the way back. It all started on the day I was born. I'm only kidding. So, I manipulate a Uniro to pop up. I put it in an exact position to cause the glider that spawns right there to despawn pretty much instantly. I then RNG manipulate a motion sensor bomb. Damage boost in such a way as to pretty much end the fight while I'm still flying. Now, the thing about this fight is that the thing about most fights is that the rest of the stage's collision isn't active. So if you're in a whatchamacallit, I'm trying to think of a way to explain this. If you're in a position that's not normally allowable to be in, like during an ambush, and the ambush ends, like the game doesn't immediately kick you out. You can still be like out of bounds. And so with that, I basically fly like into this area while the rest of the stage's collision still hasn't loaded yet. And so then the fight ends. The collision reloads. And the thing is, because I took damage in the middle of the fight, the camera doesn't freeze. And so I'm pretty much able to clip out of bounds briefly, bounce off of that wall to basically cut corners. And just do that. So with that said, let's watch it again at full speed. Incredible. And so now we're back to the regular bounce boosting. And a pause glitch to despawn the giant Goombas. And then another RNG manipulate to another bounce boost to just end the level. So let's just play that again. Whee! Alright. This was actually quite difficult to properly optimize. The general out-of-bounds collision stuff, it's because there were no other places where I could properly use it. And so that was the cave. Now we're at the ruins. This is when I found that the carryable bomb stickers do spawn. Not in this room, it was the room after this room. So I take the minecart, fall for a bit. And we do more RNG manipulation with the bombs and taking damage and everything. Like you've seen this before, I don't really have to explain it. But it's still pretty cool. Although this part, for those who caught the initial TASing stream, this part took a lot of thinking, but I was able to get a situation where I still had a lot of speed from the initial damage boost here, so I'm able to redirect it by falling, and then I'm able to redirect it again, and then I'm still able to double jump and enter the door. This has 200,000 re-records. It should look optimized. So this auto-scroller is when I found out that the carryable bomb stickers do in fact exist, and they do spawn. And so here is just a massive amount of RNG manipulation to pick all of them up. And so that's just pretty much how it is. I didn't, like, at this point, I still wasn't sure about the sticker route. Now I am, but at the time it's like, oh, how many can I get? How many do I need? So I just tried picking up as many as I possibly could. That's all I could pretty much get. Here, like, for the rest of the auto-scroller, I just flew around, but I was able to pick up many of them. And so here I just fooled around a bit more. How many viewers are we at? It says that I have 7, but that's because it wasn't updated for a while. So here, I enter and exit this door to cause the auto-scroller to end. It saves several seconds. Also, shoutouts to how Lucas just lies on the ground. Crab emoji. Lucas is dead. Crab emoji. It is a slide kick, you're right, John. So we're at another... This is a similar thing to the planes. But in this case, pause glitching was not faster in that fight. But it is faster in this fight. And the fight after that. And so now we don't have to deal with that anymore. And so the reason why I used down airs is the same reason why I used Yoshi's down air for the one switch in the forest. It's because down air has least amount of hit lag frames. So I manipulate a hothead to make my life easier here. That took quite a bit of manipulation. And here I do a bounce boost into the door. And now we face against Charizard. Okay, now that fight's over. Okay. Yeah, so with that, footstools into back air was the fastest thing that I could find. And so that... also, Bullfrog Star Fox command. Post your Bullfrog Star Fox commands in the chat right now. And so here we have a... That was the first instance of sticker application in the game. Gee, Paper Mario Sticker Star sure looks weird. So, it's really fast. So you can see here that I have Yoshi. I have a Carry Bomb sticker. Or, in this case, a Bullfrog Star Fox command. So I put it on Yoshi. And then... one of the stickers that I manipulated in the Lakeshore was Star Rod, because again, I didn't know the sticker route at the time, so I had a Carry Star Rod sticker, so I put it onto Fox. As it turns out, it was actually pretty useful. And so I put that onto Fox. And then I put a Carry Bomb sticker onto Pikachu. And then I go to Meta Knight, and then I put a weapon attack sticker onto him, which increases his weapon attacks, which includes his sword, and then a Carry Bomb sticker. You'll notice that I have a one Carry Bomb sticker left. That is reserved for Captain Falcon. I didn't think that I would need any more, but as it turns out, I manipulated another one for one character, and then, as it turns out, I didn't need it for that character. But then there was another character that I did need it for, so as it turns out, the manipulation wasn't for naught. And so that was my Paper Mario Sticker Star TAS. I hope you all enjoyed. And so we choose Meta Knight again with the ability to damage boost everywhere with RNG manipulation and the Bullfrog. And so now we're in more auto-scrollers. And so I build up some damage here. And then do that, and then we do that. First, it was a regular bounce boost, and then it was an electric bounce boost. Yeah, for some reason, Meta Knight can just do that. I'm sorry for the buffering. My internet isn't the best. It's certainly trying its best. But yeah, for some reason, Meta Knight's up B at this precise position just allows him to just clip through the mountain. I don't have an explanation. I don't think anyone does, but it skips a fight and everything with that. Infinite Dimensional Cape returns. We do another one and another bounce boost, and now we're in another auto-scroller. You'll notice a pattern here that we run into auto-scrollers often. The reason for that is I don't have a reason. Nintendo was just feeling auto-scrolly back in 2008. You'll notice that I keep on getting the bombs. That was nice RNG manipulation there. I feel as if glide here would be better, but I couldn't find anything any better. And so here we fight against Gallium. Well, it's not really a fight. It's more like Gallium just flails around angrily. Here I manipulate another Bullfrog. then I attack him more even though he's already dead. Bullfrog Star Fox command. Post your Bullfrog Star Fox commands in the chat. Oh, you thought that was the last of Galleon? Well, guess what? He's here again. I used Charizard and his Rock Smash because Rock Smash deals the most amount of damage. It deals a crazy amount of damage, actually. Here I manipulate a better sword sticker for Meta Knight. What do you mean Roy isn't in Brawl? He's right there! So, with this, let me just clear my desk. I've got, like, 2 empty water bottles in my room. Thanks, Allie! So I need to clear this real quick. I'll be right back. Whoops. Alright, I'm back. With my extra water. So... Well, I mean, I'm American, like, my dad's side is from Germany, and my mom's side is from Italy. So, the thing about this TAS is that it's being run on the PAL version of Brawl, the European version. And the reason why is because of 2 exclusive death warps that only exist in this version, the PAL version of the game. And nowhere else. This level has 1 of them. And so I'll explain it to you in detail. So we have Pit here. So he can skip this fight. Pretty much everyone can skip this fight. But the thing about this fight is that under normal circumstances, the camera doesn't move any further than this general area. It moves a bit further, but under normal circumstances, you're prevented from going to the end of the room. But the thing about the European version of the game is that if you die here... Well, no, first, if you're on the NTSC version, like American, Japanese, whatever, if you die here, you spawn back at the beginning of the level, and you have to do the fight. But the thing about the European version is that if you die here... you spawn later in the level, beyond the auto-scroller, beyond the locked camera position. So with that, you can skip the auto-scroller, you can skip the fight at the end of the auto-scroller. And the thing about this auto-scroller is that it's really slow. It's stupidly slow. I hate how slow it is. And so the fact that we can skip it by dying is incredible. Thank you, Europe, for existing and allowing the game to be published in your region. Also, we get to clip through another wall. So, how this works. Under normal circumstances, under practically all circumstances, if you're standing on a floor that moves up into a ceiling, you get crushed. But for some reason, that doesn't happen if you're in the wall bounce, if you're in the wall bonk animation. So he can just phase through the ceiling as if it doesn't exist. And so with that, I can just move horizontally earlier than if I rode the normal elevator. I think the elevator bug was known for quite a bit of time before I tasked. Well, before I made this task. And so here I do more damage boosting, and I skip this fight. and then go into the other autoscaler. But the funny thing is, it's very subtle. But I SDI from the initial explosion. I then launch myself into these spikes, which doesn't change my final knockback angle, but it allows me to SDI even more. And it's this extra period of SDI that allows me to get the correct angle and speed and everything to skip the fight. It's incredibly subtle. And so here I'm just fooling around again because it's an auto-scroller. You'll notice a pattern! And so here I'm pretty much forced to use an up air because I can't really hit the above blocks with a down air. It's like that nothing really works. Can I dash dance in place? Yes. Okay, so now we're at the swamp. So we choose Fox again and we do more RNG manipulation. We find more turtles. Hi, Dad. And then we just bounce boost all the way to the end. And so now we just do... again, like, it's... At this point, I don't think I need to explain bounce boosting or anything anymore. I like that series of fights. Of attacks, I guess. Yeah, SDI allows you to change your final position before you get launched. So, there's directional influence, which allows you to change the angle at which you're launched. And then there's SDI, which allows you to change the final position before you're launched. You get what I'm saying? So it's like there's a combination of things that you can do with SDI and DI and everything. And so, it's... And all of this literally happens in fractions of a second. Also, I enter and exit this because it's faster to do that by like about a second, I think. It makes the autoscroller go by a bit more quickly. You have changed position and the angle at which you launched at. This is the most notoriously difficult fight in the game, in RTA. It's over. I just throw the star rod up and have him land perfectly into my hands, so I can then yeet him to the left blast zone. Pause glitch here. Return of that. I throw the star rod and then enter the canyon. The precise SDI you see is TAS exclusive. You can SDI in real time, but it's only for like micro spacing effectively. Hey, Eon, welcome. So yeah, with this I just Fox side B all the way to the end. And so now we're at another autoscroller. So this fight is notorious. I'll play the fight first and then I'll explain it. So the notable thing about this fight is that the Koopas only despawn if you actually kill them. Like, the pause glitch doesn't work, and knocking them into the lake, or the river, I guess, doesn't work. You have to physically kill them. So I manipulated Babam forward to kill 2 of them, forward smash 3 of them, and then Babam 1 more of them. With RNG manipulation, obviously. Just get rid of them. Eviscerate them from existence. Yes, I entered the doors on the earliest train here. So now we're in the research facility too. This is a stage that I streamed the progress of, like many others. John Young, yes, in fact, that was in fact stored horizontal speed, because for some reason, grabbing the ledge doesn't reset your speed to 0. You still keep it. So yes, you can quite literally say, nice horizontal speed conversion at the end. Or conservation. So here it's just general, like, Pikachu's quick attack damage boost stuff. Except for the fact that I just skipped the blockades. So how this works. Let me play it back. So the building up damage part isn't that complicated. Or building up damage. It's not that complicated. The damage boost, the bounce boost in this case. So I bounce boost in such a way as to get launched like this. I cancel the hit stun with an attack, land, fast fall a bit, double jump, neutral air to hit the switch, because under normal circumstances, you're supposed to wait. Like, you hit the switch, you go to this thing, it's supposed to be already closed, then you have to wait a bit for it to open back up. Well, with here, I am barely able to make it through. Look at how close this is. There it is. It saves several seconds. It's incredible. And so here I do another bounce boost. I choose Pikachu because neither Zero Suit Samus nor Pikachu have traditional meteor smashes, so I have to get creative. That pause there was the only frame where I got both of them to not tech. Every other frame I paused that caused one of them or both of them to tech. And so now we're back to just the general stuff of quick attacking, damage boosting, bounce boosting, bounce boosting. Bounce boosting. This skips a fight, by the way. And then this is just... Let's see. Yeah, literally all of that took place within like 20 seconds. Just... Oh, wait. We get another instance of quick attack. Hurt box. Extended hurt box. Look at that. Look at how long Pikachu is. And look at that, I get attacked. And then I'm able to SDI a bit. And then I get to quick attack again. I throw the bomb at the switch. I do another damage boost. A bounce boost. Damage boost. Damage boost. And now we're at Ridley. Pikachu's fastest option is neutral air. Samus is not faster. Her attacks are slower and do not deal enough damage. That was a pause buffer for manipulating attacks. Again, it's a trend. This is fun. See, the thing about Ridley's tail attack is that it deals very small amounts of damage and small amounts of hit stun. So basically, I can get hit by it, attack, get hit by it again, and then attack again because it keeps on resetting my landing lag or just general cooldown. So I'm able to do a bunch of attacks in succession and then just kill Ridley. Or, I'm sorry, momentarily defeat him because he comes back. You'll see that later. Also, we get the introduction of the only character that matters. That's it. that's it. We're done. Let's see. We're 37 minutes in. We've got about 30 minutes left in New Year's. All right, we're done. We ended there. Okay. You want me to explain more? All right, fine. Fine. I'll explain more. Damage boost. This is a particular pause glitch that allows me to despawn both of the shell pods that spawn and just end the fight immediately. This is a particular damage boost, or bounce boost in this case, in which I wall bounce boost. I then SDI to get a ceiling bounce boost to be sent downwards. And then I SDI to the top of it to land on top of the bricks and then be able to jump. So the pause glitch is basically if you pause the game the instant you enter an ambush or a horde fight or whatever it's called, the camera continues to follow you instead of centering around the main area. But the thing about this particular damage boost that I just did is that the camera is still frozen from my prior damage boost. And so the blast zones are still all the way back here instead of being centered around the fight area. And so the two shell pods that spawn are beyond the camera's boundaries here, so they both despawn. And so I can end the fight immediately. And so now we choose Captain Falcon again because he's the only character that matters. This is just one big horde fight, RNG manipulation fest of everything. We've got the cracker launcher. Just everything. Yeah, this part took 5 hours, I think. 5 hours of tasking on stream. No joke. Anyway, now we're on the Glacial Peak. Featuring Meta Knight. And bombs, and damage boosting, and everything with that. Whee! And so now we are in one of the longest auto-scrollers of the entire game. In the very large majority of item manipulations, I was able to get what I wanted. In a very small amount of them, probably I don't even remember. I had to deal with what I got, but all of it was like so optimized well enough that it literally doesn't matter. Do I think that the encounters that I have to fight could be further optimized? Theoretically, yes, because the thing about these things is that the amount of branches in the timeline that go on, the further that the fight goes on, with each and every RNG manipulation, it increases so exponentially, alongside the fact that I'd have to literally go through everything properly in every single possible branch, that brute forcing isn't possible. I am certain that there are ways that you can do these fights that are faster than the ones that I was able to get right now. But it's impossible to know, because I would literally have to go through every single, thing and test and, definitively say if these series of RNG manipulations and enemy decisions and everything like that is slower or faster than the fastest thing that I have now. You saw the stream, it took me 5 hours to optimize 1 or 2 instances. And so, with that, I am pretty certain that Brawl, in this case, will never be maxed like something like Super Mario Bros. But we can get a close second. We can do looks great and is really fast, not necessarily fast enough. It's the fastest that I was able to get right now. It was the fastest that I was able to get in the 3 months that I tasked this. And so now we're in one of the only rooms in the game where I just could not find a proper place to bounce boost. But fortunately, we have an alternative. Just regular camera lock damage boost. Sorry, just reading the comments. Imagine you get a collective group of testers and each one tackles a different required encounter to get the best of each one. I'd love to see how far you can push it. The problem is that there's way too many things to test. I just mentioned the amount of branches increases exponentially with every single item. Because the funny thing is, there are 2 very good but drastically different items in execution that can spawn 1 single frame difference from each other. And so there are these singular frame differences with every single enemy, and it just blows up into practically infinity. This game has global RNG. Everything is absurdly global. Hexing inputs is practically impossible. There are a very small selection of rooms that do not rely on RNG. But the ones that do, if I make an improvement in a room earlier than it, I have to do the entire room over. I would need a group of like 1 million testers. Try like infinity. So, with this fight... Anyway... Okay, so I'm actually explaining it. I'm sorry, I keep on making these stupid jokes. So, I throw the bomb, I down B, bait him into attacking me, so I can do a neutral air. And then... So with this... I basically, like, I do a pivot down smash and use the ice to slide across. That one was great. So that's the end of that fight. Now, we're at another horde fight! Remember the one that I just said that has like a billion branching paths? So yeah, just enjoy the show. I'll explain the thing about the pit. So, fun fact about the pit, if an enemy lands, like, just beyond the edge of the pit, they fall much faster. Notice how that giant primate fell much faster to the bottom. So I use that to despawn the giant primates much earlier, much faster than usual. Technically, waiting for the gliders to spawn is a sort of an auto-scroller, but I try to reduce that waiting as much as possible. So yeah, with that, I use Yoshi's neutral B, and then just finish the fight. And so now we're done with that. Now we are in Battleship Halberd, and we get Snake. Kept you waiting, huh? Oh god, my voice is so dead I can't even do any sort of impression. So... yeah, fun fact, I try to do voice acting. I fail like 500% of the time, but I don't care. So fun fact about Snake, his fastest movement is his Dacus, or Dacus. It's an acronym short for Dash Attack Cancelled Up Smash, in which you cancel a dash attack with an up smash. And so that's Snake's fastest movement. And so now we choose Meta Knight, and just... I'll just show you. Okay, so the normal strategy that's intended is that you have to press You have to go through the entire room and press a series of buttons to go through the normal way. But the thing about this room is that it has imperfect collision. They left, like, they didn't put a ceiling at the top, and the walls are low enough so that you can go over it. So I use a damage boost to go over it, getting over it with Meta Knight. And I have to be very conservative with my usage of jumps here because, like, I just used my only source of damage boost. And so, but fortunately, I have enough. Also, I damage boost with that thing to get launched back to the end. And so that saves like 30 seconds. It was either 20 or 30 seconds, I forget. So with this, I used the hothead to despawn the auto lance as soon as possible. Another bounce boost. Okay, so the funny thing about this room is that you can skip it with only with specific characters. In the Project M New Game Plus Debug Percent test, I was able to use Sonic. Gets to this wall, kill the bomb bed, and then damage boost in a precise way as to just clip in between the floor and the ceiling to just skip to the end. Unfortunately, Meta Knight's frame, all Meta Knight, Lucario, and Snake, all of their frames don't let the skip work. So unfortunately, I have to do the intended thing. With some bounce boosting, of course, but I still have to waste time defeating all of the enemies to make all of the walls go down. And it's like, that was a disappointment, but oh well. I get one last bomb and just damage boost to the end. And so now we have to fight against Shadow Peach and Shadow Zelda. It took me ages to get this because that frame, that pause frame was the only pause frame that worked in letting them both be killed at once. Every single other thing didn't work. It only killed one of them, not both of them. So now we're at a Battleship Halberd exterior, and this is where things go completely, utterly, ridiculously. I'll play the first room, and then I'll play the first room, I'll pause for a bit, I'll let you connect the dots, and then I'll play it again and give a proper explanation. So, you know, hold on, I'm Segtendo Nerd 64. Yeah, and John, I'll explain the probabilities. So, first, in the initial thing of this task, I did the entire thing with Sheik. And then I realized, as I finished it, wait, if the RNG brute forcing script that I made works with items generated from enemies being defeated, it should work with all items that spawn in a given item slot. So it should work with Peach, which differentiates between turnips and bombs. And so then I actually had to modify the script to include Peach's turnips item ID because initially they weren't included, and so that ran me into a couple errors. But I was able to get that to work, and then I was able to generate a list of the RNG values that had Peach spawn a bomb, and then I made them work. If I did not have the brute forcing script, I would have considered this strategy beyond impossible to properly do, because it contains too much brute forcing. Now, that was 3 bombs in a single room. Now, I found the proper odds of the bomb of generating a bomb earlier today. The chances of a single bomb is 1 out of 240. In this room, I get 3 bombs in a row. So that's basically rolling 3 240-sided die and getting 240 on each of them. Yes, John, that's 1 divided by 240 cubed. So if I put that in the calculator, that's 1 in 13.8 million. Which is quite improbable. Quite improbable. We're already talking about lottery ticket winning probabilities in this range. No, Alpha, we're not done yet. Because this was only 3. This is only 3 bombs. And so I'm going to play the rest of this, and I'll ask you to count the bombs from Peach's down B. So that was 3, 4, 5. Ignoring everything else, we're playing a counting game. These bombs don't count because they're from enemies, and they have a much higher chance of spawning from enemies. So we're at 5. We're still at 5. 6. 7. 8. Okay, now I'm gonna go through everything properly this time. So, in this room, in this level, that was 8 bombs. So that's 1 divided by 240 to the 8. So that's only 1 divided by 11 quintillion. No. It's okay. 1 in quintillion events happen all the time. Peach just got lucky. Also, remember at the beginning of the game in the mid-air stadium where I got up a bomb with Peach in the first horde fight? That technically means I got 9 in a row. So technically speaking, that's 1 divided by 240 to the 9th, which is, well, let's count them. That's 100,000 million billion trillion quadrillion quintillion 2.6 sextillion. 2.6 sextillion. No, it's okay, guys. It's okay, guys. This is just how many zeros is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. What is this? Like 21 zeros? Technically speaking. No. It's okay. You can just round this to 2. It's fine. It's fine. Round it to 2. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, it's 2 with 21 zeros. It's okay. So yeah, you can only get these kinds of odds when you manipulate them. I would know because I've manipulated RNG before. Dream, you cheated. So yeah, anyway, enough with focusing on him. Let's go back to my stuff. So here I do a bounce boost with the Babam that I manipulated. I SDI into a quark mine. Fast fall, and then do some stuff. And then do another bounce boost, and then enter the door. And then I RNG manipulated another Babam. And then enter the door. Fun fact, there are some instances where I delay entering the door a couple of frames to manipulate RNG for the next room. Because whatchamacallit, the RNG generates values in a predictable manner, with the exception of during room transitions, in which it basically jumps from one sequence of RNG numbers to another. Because it changes differently from the intended or the general method of what we know. So it goes from and then, room transition. It's like jumping onto another timeline. And so because of that, I can enter the door on different frames to manipulate the RNG in a different manner than otherwise. And so with that, I was able to find this isn't the... Wait. There we go, that's what I wanted. So with that, I manipulated the RNG to be able to pluck a Babam as early as possible. And so I could just bounce boost to the door. That's an hour into another fight. We get not 1 in 240 on RNG manipulation with the bombs. I feel like this is one of the fights that I can improve better, but I just couldn't find anything better. So with that, I bounce boost, I pluck another bomb, and then just yeet myself to the door. And this part is great. So the reason why I don't bounce boost immediately is because I need vertical movement. And with the ceilings that exist here, I can only bounce boost with horizontal velocity. So it doesn't lend itself properly. So I have to get to a high point. And if you'll notice, as soon as I get up to here and throw the Babam and SDI and then jump, I land on the platform. And then while I still have momentum from the first one, I was able to manipulate RNG to get another one right as I fell off. This is the craziest strat in the entire run, in my opinion. All of the stars in our section of the galaxy lined up for me to be able to do this. This saves about 75 frames in comparison to trying to get to the end with the momentum from the first bomb. And it's like, I got it, which means every single TAS, like, if anyone aside from me wants to improve this, they're gonna have to get this same ridiculous RNG that I got. And I think I'm the only one that knows the source code to the Lewis script that I made. Oh, for some reason it muted itself. So, yeah. And so now we do more sticker application. Okay, so I'll just play this frame by frame just to show everything. Okay, so... Okay, so with this, I'm at Yoshi. No, wait. Okay, so Kirby. I put a leg attack sticker on Kirby, and a Caribou Bomb sticker. I move the Caribou Bomb sticker that's on Pikachu, and then put a body spin sticker. That increases the power of his neutral air. With Captain Falcon, I have a leg attack sticker, a Caribou Bomb sticker, and then an electric attack sticker. Because the thing about stickers is that many attacks are affected by multiple attack types. And so the thing about Captain Falcon's forward air, it's powered up by both leg attacks and electric attacks, which means I can put both on at once and then power it up even more than just with one of them alone. And so now that we finally unlocked Peach, this is the sticker that I manipulated at the very start of the run by setting the system time to a custom date. That increases weapon attack, which Stitch Faces and Bob-ombs are part of. And then there's an indirect special attack, which, again, Stitch Faces and Bob-ombs are affected by. Bob-ombs are also affected by fire and explosive damage, but Stitch Faces are only affected by weapon attack and indirect specials, which means this is the most powerful, this is the most that you can power up Peach's Stitch Face. And so now I go to Menade. See, this is where the sticker route can be improved even more, because I didn't think that Roy's sticker wouldn't fit. So here I have to waste something like 40 frames to wait. But now we're at the bridge. Okay, just checking. Oops, the fight's over. There is a weapon that surpassed Metal Gear in this boss fight. I'll leave it up to you to decide which one. Let me know what you think in the comments. So now we choose Pikachu again. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll play the boss fight again. Also, almost Happy New Year's. Unfortunately, I got nowhere near close enough to finish the analysis, but that's fine. So here, because of Nuwan's odd attack patterns, I couldn't immediately just wail on him after RNG manipulating his Stitch Face. Yeah, by the way, I RNG manipulated a Stitch Face. Like, literally right at the start. So the first thing that I do is jump, Z-drop the Stitch Face, and then grab it again. SDI a bunch. Tech on its wall, because Duan has a bunch of wall and floor hitboxes, like Porky. But I do a bunch of stuff with that. Then I finally fall to the ground, and I'm able to do the primary form of damaging, which includes jumping, floating, and then double jumping, and then just doing a bunch of stuff. But regardless, it's over. You would not believe that this is on Intense, but it's on Intense. This is the hardest difficulty in the game, and they still go down in no time at all. It's incredible, actually. So now we're at Pikachu, or Subspace Bomb Factory 1. And we clip through a wall, or in this case, a corner. I damage boost to the fight. I'm able to neutral air and kill everything. The green shell was optimal. And then that's pretty simple. So now we get to play as the only character that matters again. I made this TAS all by myself. This was a solo effort. I don't know where the TAS is going to land on when New Year's strikes, but unfortunately it's not the end, but that's okay. So here I manipulate RNG to be able to bounce boost and do stuff quickly. Here I'm able to skip the fight by getting the bombs and then just riding the ceiling. So that's nice. Another series of bounce boosts and a bunch of other stuff. More fooling around in the auto-scroller, and here, with this actual fight, I use the pause glitch to despawn enemies quickly, and I get... And this is actually a similar thing to what happened in the cave. I get to skip getting the key. I don't need to get the key here. This is the most annoying horde fight in the entire game because of the amount of enemies that take place, but it actually didn't have much headache in comparison to other times I've done this, and so I'm able to take care of this quite easily, especially with help of the Cracker Launcher. I loved using it in this fight. Shout out to the green shell, which doesn't actually get much use. When's the 100% TAS? Honestly, I don't know. There's the trip. And then we finish with a dab. The dab is optimal. Also, Happy New Year's 2021. We ended the horde fight on New Year's. Woo! Yeah. We ended the year with a trip. Alright. I'm getting like 1 billion Discord notifications, but I don't care. Well, it just turned New Year's in Eastern Standard Time, so... Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh, man, I'm tired. Okay. Anyway. Now that that's done, you'll notice that I choose Rob here, and there's a perfectly good explanation for this. I'll play this and then I'll give an explanation like I usually do. Okay, so just like Battleship Halberd interior, I'm sorry. This room has incomplete collision. In particular, you can get over the wall. I could have gotten over the wall with either Rob or Captain Falcon. If I was using the American version of the game, I would have used Captain Falcon, especially since, he has the bullfrog sticker. It's actually only possible with Captain Falcon with the bomb. He can't do it without it. Rob can do it naturally, and so this is why he's used. But the thing about the PAL version is that this is the second instance of a death warp being used. So I die as soon as possible and just warp to near the bottom. This skips an auto-scroller, by the way. It saves like 30 seconds. Unfortunately, I can't skip the second one. So this is more auto-scroller stuff. I do take some damage because I'm going to be using a bounce boost in the next room. And there it is. So now we fight against Meta Ridley, and we just destroy him. They give us 2 minutes. I do it in... Let's see. That looks to be... What, less than 12 seconds, I think? Let me try to do some. Yeah, less than 12 seconds. It's like 11:62, I think. But yeah, Meta Ridley is especially weak against electric attacks, which means Captain Falcon's knee does a truck ton of damage. And so with that, we are now in subspace. Yeah, I'm particularly good with mental math. That has to do with, like, calculating change or finding, like, estimated time left. That deal with the regular timer. So, yeah, now we're in subspace. I damage boost with the bomb. I finished the fight. Now we deal with a very long autoscroller, so I purposefully die and respawn as Meta Knight. And so I just fool around here for a lot. I have 3 notifications. All of them are probably Happy New Year announcements. I can't exactly check unless I were to just pause the entire video. Could check on my phone, I guess. I'll do that real quick. So, as you can see, this autoscroller is still going. It's very long. But I manipulate a super mushroom from the Spock enemy to take care of these generators more easily. And then I get a lot of height. The timer ends, but I'm able to glide over the rest of the fights in this level. And then I dodge roll for a bit and then infinite dimensional cape to the end because that's faster. And then that's entrance to subspace. And so before we continue on with actual subspace, I'm going to take a bit of a break because I have been talking pretty much nonstop for the past, how long have I been going? 2 hours! Wow. Wow, I got 2 ats in one server, basically. And there's that one. Sorry, now I'm just... Alright, I'm done, I think. Gliding should use the brachistochrone curve if its physics is realistic, which it probably isn't. Honestly, I don't actually know if the gliding movement that I did is necessarily the most optimal, but it's certainly fast, and it's certainly the best that I was able to get in my attempts. Remember, 200,000 re-records in this entire TAS. For a time, the re-record count overtook the frame count. Until the Great Maze, but we'll get to that. And so with that, yeah, so we choose Luigi here. Because, 1, his misfire. And 1, his misfire. Well, he has pretty good vertical movement too, so, yeah. I get the fish to follow me, so I can just barely make it to the edge. I damage boost, and then I damage boost, and then I enter the door. And then I dodge roll, because Luigi's dodge is faster than his, run. How hard was the misfire RNG? Not as hard as the bomb RNG. It's like 1 in 10 or something. But I did not need that. I did not need that many takes. Also, we get Captain Falcon here, runs over. Also, we skip Mario. Goodbye, Mario. It's time for Luigi to go on his adventure. His own adventure. Hello, Bowser. Goodbye, Bowser. It's an allusion to the first fight of the game in which first I play as Kirby fighting against Mario, and now I'm playing as Kirby's rival fighting against DDD's Ryle. Or, no, I'm sorry, that was completely messed up. I fight Kirby as Mario, and then I fight Kirby's rival as Mario's rival. Oh god, I'm tired. You can tell I'm tired. But that's okay. Excuse my slip-ups. Speaking of Kirby, we have Kirby with a bomb. And also, we saved Peach there. She's a surprise tool that'll help us later. We do more bounce boosts with the quark mines and everything. We use stone to travel more quickly downwards. And here we use a pause glitch because there are 4 fire primates that we just don't want to deal with. So, the Armite spawns at that time no matter what. You can't speed up his spawning in. And so I manipulate a trophy and just throw it at him to end it immediately. And so now we're in another auto-scroller with like a billion Spock enemies at the same time. So I manipulated a bomb, because this next fight we're going to be camera pause glitching. And then dangling ourselves at the edge of the blast zone. This is faster, by the way. Also, hi Rob, bye Rob. So now we're in this room. Bounce boost over to the Ticken. That saves like 2 frames. Whoops. Oh, okay, I'll play this back again because it requires a number of explanation. Okay, so remember that fight in the Path to the Ancient Ruins where I pause glitch with Captain Falcon and then despawn the 2 shell pod enemies? Well, here it's a similar story, except instead of despawning some shell pods, I despawn the entire Genga enemy. You know, that big tower enemy that takes like a billion hits. Well, I despawn it, and it's faster to die and do everything with that in comparison to just doing everything regularly. Why don't I pause glitch more fights? Because it's literally slower to. I tried every fight pause glitching and not pause glitching. And now we are at the Great Maze. I'm late by 10 minutes. Fun fact, this takes up literally 1/4 of the entire TAS. 24.6% is nothing but this level. Why did they think this was a good idea? So the first thing that we do is Captain Falcon and then defeat Petey. And if you're wondering, yes, I tried, I tested entering as Peach, defeating Petey, and then switching to Falcon. It's slower than just using Falcon. So, just this entire thing is nothing but bounce boosting into a character fight, throwing the bomb at the character, and then down airing or forward airing the character to end the fight. That's literally it, with the occasional boss fight. This is where the run, like, even with, you know, the spectacle of actually going fast in Brawl out of all games. Like, there's, like, as a, person who, rated my run on TAS videos said, there's only so many times where you can see the same damage boost before getting tired of seeing it. And you know what? I give him credit for that. He's right. He's right. Like, I personally see the entertainment factor coming in from just the fact that you can move this quickly in a game that's notorious for being slow. Being the slowest game in the entire series. The fact that you can even move this quickly. Even if it's through damage boosts. Now, it's like, admittedly, it's like that one person was the only person in the thread, but it's like it's a genuine criticism, and I can definitely see it. Like, if you think it's cool, well, like that, Like that part I think is nice. Like, let's see that again. Took me ages to get that properly. But like for the most part, like I can definitely see his point. Also, fun fact, in the RTA runs of these games, also nice damage boost, you often reach checkpoint doors, go through them, exit out of them, and then exit out of Subspace itself to basically skip having to backtrack. That's not as fast in the TAS because, one, bounce boosting, and two, exiting out of Subspace with a new save file wastes a bunch of time. Listen, the Rocket Hoster, it wasn't even negative, it was constructive criticism. Although, admittedly, I can't exactly do much with that, given that, well, this is the fastest movement in a speed-based task, but, like, it's legitimate. It's not like... I don't know. Yeah, the ping-pong bounce was nice. So... yeah. Also, we're pretty much already at 999. I would try to do Snake impressions, but my voice is too tired. No, I did not try it as Peach. That's a potential thing that I'll try the next time I do this. But for now, Falcon... Okay, so the reason why I even chose Falcon is because he has extremely quick kills in the form of throwing up a bomb and then down-airing opponents into death. Peach doesn't have a Meteor Smash, or at least a Meteor Smash as reliable as Falcon's down-air. Although, what Peach could do is keep on manipulating the bombs, but I'm not even sure if that'd be a reliable thing. But you're correct. Peach could be a faster thing than Captain Falcon. The issue is that I'm done with this thing. I would like to rest. I'll probably do this like in 2022 or something. Because like keep this in mind. Remember all of that RNG manipulation I did in Battleship Halberd Exterior? Apply that to 18 minutes? 17, 18 minutes? Every single room? Admittedly, putting a Caribou Bomb sticker on her would sort of remove that issue, but the fact of the matter is, that's still a lot of RNG manipulation, and even with a brute forcing script, it'd just take a lot of time to properly do. Also, I like this strat. Step 1, get on Porky. Step 2, down smash. Step 3, Step 4, win. Round 1, fight. Game, set. The winner is Captain Falcon. So yeah, you'll notice that I occasionally use forward air instead of down air. That's because the character is too high and too far away from the main stage. And then there are some characters that I have to down air twice because they refuse to go down with a single one. But aside from that, it's like... Also, more RNG manipulation with the bomb. That was nice. I think I got that one by accident. I got to it by accident and then rolled with it. So yeah, with, like as I mentioned before, the entire thing is bounce boosting or otherwise from one room to another, and then just destroying characters with up a bomb and then forward air or down air. Well, down air or forward air in this case. That one was nice. And now we fight Ridley again. I explicitly tried manipulating for his tail attack to appear a lot earlier and more often, so I could just do something like that. Happy little RNG, you're right. It feels like an entirely different game than the rest of the TAS because it is an entirely different game than the rest of the TAS. See, this is another point where you would pause and exit out of the game, but I don't because, again, bounce boosting is just so fast. So yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't exactly use a bounce boost to skip this entire thing because, fun fact, as I mentioned in the ruins, even with the camera unfrozen, the camera can't keep up. Come on. I don't think this really needs any more explanation. I'll explain the last fight and explain an improvement that I made in the last fight. But aside from that, that's it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's literally 13 minutes. Well, no, actually, it's about 8 more minutes of this. 7.5, I guess. As you can see, Falcon gets used quite a lot in this area. Also, we defeat Meta Rayleigh in like 12 seconds again. I don't know if it's actually around 12 seconds, but I could probably check. Hello, Mario. And here's to my brother Luigi now, to tell you a holy heap and spaghetti pile of informazione. Hello, Mario. Goodbye, Mario. This one was also by accident. Okay, so the thing about a co-op TAS is that damage gets reduced by a factor of 0.6, which basically means that enemies get 67% more health. Which means, like, not only is a co-op TAS infinitely more complicated to do than a single-player task, it's not even that much faster because of that 67% health buff on all enemies in the game. And yeah, technically speaking, well, no, like in reality, the 67% health buff, it goes away when player 2 dies, and only one player remains. Gallium is native to Smash, alongside Duon. Someone's car alarm is going off. That's great. Yeah, this is another area where you exit out of the game, but I found a way to get through it really quickly. Bounce boosting is just way too powerful. Yeah, that I loved that bounce boost. Are we done yet? No, of course not. Hello, Luigi. Goodbye. And here's my brother Luigi now. Wait a minute. Here's another clever bounce boost. Okay, I'll actually run by that because it's so quick. So, with this, so you'll notice that they fire their shots. I bounce boost, like I ceiling bounce boost on the elevator that's moving down, and then I SDI on top of the elevator, and then land on its floor to get the speed cap that I need, because without it I'd just fly off and die, and then just jump to the end. I feel like I feel like this room can be improved, but I couldn't find anything. Like it's already good enough. Like it's already good. Not even good enough, it's just good. Also, hi Rayquaza. See, we got a Falcon Punch in the run, guys. Now here, there was a, like, before I entered the door, here I'm actually using that. It's faster to do this than actually backtracking through the two rooms. What's Lucas gonna do? Get his brother? I'm sorry. I shouldn't make jokes like that. Hello, Lucario. Goodbye, Lucario. So, how does bounce boosting work? I explained this when the technique was first introduced, but I'll explain it again because I'm assuming you showed up late. So, after this fight. Well, no, at the next bounce boost opportunity. Okay, so under normal circumstances, when you take damage, it's like you enter a taking damage animation, and the camera freezes with the amount that it freezes, with the amount of time that it freezes being dependent on how much your damage is at and how hard the attack hits. And so this leads to an intended thing where trying to build up a bunch of damage and damage boosting all over the place leads you being zoomed off to the camera's blast zones, which are now frozen and then dying. Because you crossed the blast zones. That's just the rules. But the thing that I found is that if you immediately enter into a ceiling or wall bounce animation without being in the regular taking damage animation, then the camera doesn't freeze. And so you can use this to just boost all over the place, completely against what the developers you're doing exactly what the developers wanted to prevent. And so because this technique requires you to be in a bounce animation, whether it's bouncing on a wall or bouncing on a ceiling, I call it the bounce boost. Yeah, it would be a damage animation cancel if I knew that it were exactly the case. I'm only theorizing that this is exactly the case because it's the explanation that makes the most sense. Like, I don't have in-code proof. Like, I haven't disassembled the entire game, but I think my hypothesis is sound enough. So yeah, I do that, and then I do that. And then I do that. Goodbye, Ike. What's Ike gonna do? Get his little sister to help? Is Mist even in this game, even as a sticker? I'm not even sure. Also, Falcon Kick. Okay, so I have to explain that now. So, with the speed that I get from that, bounce boost, it's too much. Like, if I were to just fall normally, I would overshoot the door. But the thing about Falcon Kicking is that it reduces your horizontal speed, so I just spam Falcon Kick a bunch to lower my speed enough to just enter the door. Also, RNG manipulation again. I don't think it's 10 times. Let's actually count. Hold on a second. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. 8 times. Close to 10, but not 10. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We outplay Marth, because I'm pretty sure this particular stage design was like many of the stages you fight the Shadow Fighters on. I'm pretty sure they try to incorporate like ideas from the games that they're present on, and it's like with Marth, like with the Ice Climbers, it's like you have a bunch of high platforms similar to the Ice Climbers home game, and then with Marth, it's completely different from a regular stage. It's like the two characters are on two different tiles, and one has to meet the other to initiate a fight, like Fire Emblem games, I guess. Also, we're at the end finally. Let's see here. Here I use Peach. Get a Stitch. Manipulate RNG to get an attack pattern. I saved 24 frames by doing a better damage output, but that's it. That's it. We get a happy face, and then Peach literally kicks Taboo's core into non-existence. That's the end of time, by the way. Hold on. This exact frame right here. So give or take some frames, at the start because the input, didn't entirely work. It's exactly 1:10:6. And then that's the final input. That's the final input that's needed to get to the credits. "30 minutes late. It took me 30 minutes to explain everything else." Oh, shoot. Wait. No. I can't play this because there are two companies that are falsely claiming that they own the rights to Brawl's main theme when they don't. So I can't actually play this unless I want this live stream to be falsely copyright claimed. Man, this sucks. So, just one final note. Only the characters that you save appear at the final screen. Crab emoji. Mostly everyone is dead. Crab emoji. Yeah. Alright, and with that, I think I've explained everything pretty much. Like, I could go over literally every single thing, but that would literally take hours. I'm pretty tired, and with everything said, I hope all of you have a happy new year. Have a great 2021, because 2020 was pretty much the worst thing that could have happened to all of us. They shoved an entire decade's worth of events into a single year with a billion things happening. Personally, I went through it without much difficulty, but I know for a fact that many of you suffered more than enough through this year, and to those of you who went through that, good luck to you for this year and all of the years onward. You survived 2020. The rest of this should be a cakewalk. So with everything said, I'm signing off.